Oh my goodness. Hello. Welcome to Midjourney's Prompting for Beginners. We'll be talking about styles and aesthetics today. It is Saturday, December 6th. It is 11 a.m. here in Central Texas. The sky is blue. The air is crisply cold. And there's a herd of cows passing through the ranch land to my left. Not my cows, not my problem. It's true. I should take a picture out the window at some point to show you guys so you can see. I can't take a picture of the coyotes, but I might be able to grab a picture of the cows. You have joined Prompting for Beginners. This version of the class is exploring aesthetics with Midjourney. We have been piloting this class for the past, I don't know, month. This is, I think, the fourth time we've run this class. And what we're trying to do by piloting the class and revising it each time is to bring this class slowly closer to fine, as the Indigo Girls would say, closer to something that flows and teaches in a way that that we all find really helpful. So I want to welcome EBG and Jody. I think you guys might be joining for the first time. Beach, you might be joining for the first time. Welcome back to Eden, Slock, Mary Smith, and Ari. It's good to see you. I'm going to leave you guys on mute because I do so much of the talking in these classes. See if I can sit up straight. There we go. Welcome, welcome. Today is about exploring aesthetics with Midjourney. We will be exploring the tools that basically blend styles to change the expression of our prompt, EBG. So to do this, you, sir or madam, to do this, we're going to use prompting to make a random logo. And we're going to make it in one style, and then we're going to use the various tools step by step to change how it looks so that we get an idea of how these tools work. And then if there's time, once we're happy with how it looks, we'll just make a new skin for it. We'll change, without changing it, we'll change its style to something else, which is a very cool skill to have. If you are getting an echo, I recommend muting the stream because I have to send my voice twice, speech. Once over the stream so the people on Facebook can hear me, and once here on Discord so you guys can hear me. So you'll have to right click on the stream and select mute to stop the echo. So throughout the class, you guys, I'll be using a model prompt. So we all have the same reference, so we can kind of watch all the transformations. But if you participate and you can like rerun the exact setups that I show you with your own logo prompt, which I'll help you build. And then if you're up for it, you can like share the results in chat, and I'm going to help you learn step by step. If you participate by pasting prompts and stuff, I will give you your time back at the end of the class. So I don't want you to use any of your minutes on this class, so I'll give your minutes back to you if you participate. So welcome to Marv and Jody and EBG. How are my veterans feeling? Ready to help me try this new pattern of trying with the random logo? Woohoo! Can I get a woohoo? Okay, thank you, Johnny. I knew I could rely on you for a woohoo. So, oh, thank you, Ari. Love me some logos. We're going to work with logos. So here's the thing. I'm going to use chat as our slide because, you know, slides suck. I want to look at slides. Thank you, Johnny. No one wants to look at slides. So I'm going to paste what would be on a PowerPoint slide directly into your Discord chat. That'll also show up for the folks on YouTube and stuff. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna explore prompting basics. We're gonna figure out our own logo, each of us. And then we're going to start using style tools, the built-in styles and generated styles and special effects and our own influences to reimagine that logo in various ways using all of the different Midjourney style tools. So I'm occasionally going to paste blocks of text like this into your chat so that you can sort of follow along and see where we are. And sometimes they'll have instructions or questions or various things. Are any of you on a mobile device? Say no if you're not on a mobile device. EBG, you are on a mobile device. Marv. Okay, EBG and Marv, are you on phones of some kind? Phones, iPads. Look, it's okay if you don't answer, because really, yeah, it's gonna suck. Mobile device, it's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard. If you have the option of being on a desktop or a laptop or something, hop over to that. I mean, if you're just gonna listen passively, then any device is fine. But if you want to play here on this beautiful Saturday, if you want to play, then hop onto your desktop machine or laptop or something. Something with Windows. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first lesson, we're going to do 3 lessons. 3 lessons. Oh, Ari, that's beautiful. So the first lesson is just prompting basics. It's going to help us create the basic logo that we're going to work with. Now, let me get my window up here. I've got it all purple so that it matches the prompting for beginners look. So today in class, we're going to create a logo using Midjourney, right? So I need you to think about what your logo is going to be, what you want it to look like. So you can watch me make mine, or you can make your own with me, or both. So in chat, tell me the icon and style for your logo. For example, like elephant, collage. It's going to be a tower, clip art. It's going to be a photographic bouquet of flowers. Just those 2 things. Because sometimes we have a very specific image for a vision, like our logo here that we're now all thinking about. And we're interested in making sure that Midjourney listens to us and generates exactly what we've described. So this concern, by the way, if you're ever curious what to call it when you worry about Midjourney listening to you, it's called prompt adherence. That's how well Midjourney follows what we tell it. That's kind of fancy, but it's good to know the phrase prompt adherence because it's very hard to figure out what else to call, because it's not like Midjourney was really listening. It's not that it obeys. It's not that this. It's not that that. We really need a new term for it, and prompt adherence happens to be the term for how well the AI follows the instructions in our text prompt. So I see we've got a ukulele. Do you have a style in mind for the ukulele? Just plain old, straight up vector graphic logo? Letters carved in stone. Very cool. So keep those coming. If you just joined and you don't know what's going on, we're going to play with a logo. Right now, we're coming up with a completely random logo, like an elephant collage, or a tower, and it's going to look like clip art, or it's going to be a single letter, and it's going to be metal, whatever you want to say. So yeah, we have a specific vision sometimes. Other times, our approach is less focused on a specific outcome. and more on exploration, like just experimenting with Midjourney's aesthetic capabilities. And I think, and you might agree, that might be where Midjourney truly excels, like not in prompt adherence, but in generating visually stunning results. Um, so our emphasis then shifts entirely to aesthetics. And our goal in these moments might be, like, keep your logo in mind here, it might be to develop a distinct visual style for a single image. It might be to create a consistent style that like can be applied across a series of images. It might be simply to indulge our curiosity, right? Create just various novel styles purely for the sake of creative expression, just like, wow, it's fun. And so when we prompt with the focus of how an image appears rather than what the image is, we prompt differently. So this is what you can do with Midjourney. Just rephrase what I said. You can create an image that has a style, which is what we're about to do with our logo. We can create a style for an existing picture, which we will try to do to our logo. You can create a style for use across multiple pictures. We'll play with that. You can create styles just for fun. We'll see a little bit of that too. I'm going to take a quick look at all of these. So let's, for our logo, introduce the idea of the basic prompting checklist. So the goal of basic prompting is, well, logo is also a style. It's true. You could have a logo of an elephant in the style of a logo. So maybe that's what you mean. If you guys didn't specify a style, maybe you just mean style of a logo. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the style of a logo, but I'm going to express myself a little bit more specifically, because the goal of basic prompting is about giving yourself a fighting chance to control what ends up in the image. So that means prompting for adherence is the three things that make up the image. The subject of the image, its focal point, the background or context that surrounds that focal point, and the style or the aesthetic that that image is expressed in. And so when you're prompting for those three things, the order doesn't really matter. I'll show you more about that. You just have to make sure all three appear somewhere. So we should have the elements of our logo ready to go. So like for me, the subject is an owl wearing red glasses standing on a book. And my style is default logo, flat modern vector art logo, right? Just like plain old logo. And I want mine on a black background. So if you're following along with your own logo, take a moment and write down your three pieces, your subject, background, and style. If I use the word vector, I am asking Midjourney to search its aesthetic knowledge for what vectors look like and use that aesthetic. So it will be in the stylistic qualities of a vector, but it will not be an actual vector. Midjourney only produces one type of image output, which is a PNG. It will never be an actual vector. It'll just be styled like a vector. So I wanted to look at other vector images and show me what that style looks like. So drop your 3-part description into chat if you want feedback. I'll keep using my owl example so we're all looking at the same thing. But I want you to be thinking in terms of your own logo. So I can write up this prompt in any order, right? I can say, I'm going to include my aspect ratio and I'm going to include a seed, because for me, I want something to stabilize my base image while I'm testing all these looks. You do not have to use a seed if you do not want to. A seed is an advanced tool that says start from the same point every time you make a generation, and maybe that will stabilize the features of my picture. So look at this. The order doesn't matter. I've written one that's a flat, modern vector art logo of an owl, right? But another one, I have an owl flat modern vector art logo and then the background. And on the last one, I have isolated on a black background, a flat modern vector art logo of an owl wearing red glasses. Like I've put, it doesn't, the order doesn't matter. So let me show you, I'm going to run all these prompts together here so you can see that the order actually doesn't change it all that much. So here's starting with, is this big enough? Let me make it a little bigger. Okay. So this one is starting with a flat modern vector art logo of my owl. This one is starting with an owl wearing red glasses. Can't really see them together. This one is starting with the black background. Look how similar that is. And this one is starting with a flat modern, this one is reversing the background and the subject. So, wow, and that's really close to, see this, we've got some seed drift here. You see how in the batch, these reversed position, these aligned, and these reversed position. That's why seed is not very stable, but it helped a little. So you can see this is the same as this is the same as this. And this one, the very first one, it didn't show up. Not quite like that anyway. And the teal only showed up in this one. So order doesn't matter, but you see that order doesn't do nothing at all. The order, the sequence of the phrase in the prompt. All right. It doesn't mean that order does nothing. This is the seed lock demonstration. You can see how similar they are, but they're not identical. So as an advanced user, you'll learn that moving phrases toward the beginning of the prompt can sometimes help with prompt adherence for that detail. So what I would say if a user is struggling to get a flat modern vector art look, like maybe they think that these three don't look enough like modern vector art, then I would say, look, put it at the front of the prompt. And that's how we get this look. And it's true. This one is, all of them are flattened. In the other ones, you can see there's more dimensionality in some of these. So there's something going on there. But basically, the order doesn't matter. So now it's your turn. So write one prompt for your logo. Subject, background, style, in any order. And if you're cool with sharing, paste that prompt into the chat. Just prefix it with my logo or something so we can see what you're working on. And if you like, if you want to run it in Midjourney, you know, grab a picture of it and show us what, so that other folks can see your starting point too. So my starting point will be, gosh, which one do I like? I've made all of these. I guess I like this one, you guys. So I'm going to copy the image URL and I'm going to paste it into the chat. And that is going to be my starting point. And please do the same with yours. So what I'm trying to teach here is the fundamentals for crafting a prompt aimed at adherence. Adherence, getting what you specifically ask for. So let me ask, are there any questions about the basic prompting checklist of subject, background, and style? If you have no questions, you can type NQ or no questions. Ah, there's reason. Reason has included words. Okay, I know I'm asking you to do a lot. I'm asking you to type no questions, and I'm asking you to paste your logo in. Very nice, EBG. A supermoon wearing glasses, standing on a motorcycle, flat modern vector art logo on a light blue background. Very cool beach. EBG, do you want to try running yours? Vector logo of a gray tabby cat peeking from behind a ukulele. Oh, nice. Okay, EBG. Can you see my screen with the owl on it? Okay. So log into midjourney.com. Go to midjourney.com. Whoops. I have a bad tag on the end. You go to midjourney.com and you log in with your credentials, whatever credentials you established. And you click on the Create tab. And then at the top is what we call the Imagine bar or prompt bar. This field here that says inside of it, what will you imagine? And in this field, we type our subject, background, and style. I'm going to type yours in. I'm going to do the style first. A flat, modern, vector, art logo. A super moon wearing glasses. Whoops, of a super moon wearing glasses standing on a motorcycle, isolated on a light blue background. And I'm going to make sure that by clicking my options button, I'm going to make sure that it's square. And then I'm going to click the paper airplane, the submit button. Fantastic. Great logo. So here's your prompt written out if you want to do it yourself. And then if you want to share one with us, like actually this is my favorite. Kind of not quite right, but it's also somehow my favorite. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to choose copy image URL. And then I'm going to put myself back in Discord. I'm going to hit paste, put the URL in Discord, and it'll paste the image. Very good, Johnny. That's great, Himbo. Ah, EBG, I'm so happy to help. So you go to midjourney.com, log in with your Discord credentials, and then click the Create tab, and then put your cursor in the Imagine bar, which is up here. And then you type in your prompt, subject, background, style, and click, and then you can hit return or click the paper airplane. Then right click on your favorite image, select copy image URL, paste that URL here in chat. And that's the basics of prompting. And then we're going to play with style. I'm so excited to play with style with our logos. So I want, while EBG is working on that, EBG, when you get yours, or if you have a question, or if anyone has a question, I am relying on you to type the question into chat and just go ahead and interrupt us. It is appropriate to just type questions directly into chat. I'm counting on it. Beautiful, Mary Smith. So, talking about how Midjourney helps us explore styles. We're developing this random logo so that we can change its style with all of Midjourney's tools. But one of the ways that you can explore styles is just by prompting. So what we're doing is regular style exploration. We are going to test how a style treats a known thing, our logo. But you can also do open-ended prompting, which forces Midjourney to decide the aesthetics because you withhold the details. You don't tell it a modern vector image graphic. You don't tell it intertwined and carved in stone. You don't say 3D letter. You don't say anything. You say something vague, and then Midjourney has to come up with the style for you. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on open-ended prompting. We're going to stick to exploring our logo. So how do you come up with a style? Let's talk about what happens next. In this first lesson, we focused on what we tell Midjourney to make. How to write a prompt for control, subject and background and style, and that's what our random logo is. So now you've got a basic logo prompt, and we're going to look at a few ways to poke at Midjourney to see what it does. That's what lesson 2 is about. What happens next? Instead of changing the words in the prompt, we're going to change how Midjourney interprets the words. And that's where style comes in. I'm going to talk about how styles, style dials, style tools, and style references, and they all change the expression of your prompt without you having to change the prompt itself. So in other words, lesson 1 was what are we asking for? And lesson 2 is how does Midjourney decide to draw it? So let's look at Midjourney style systems and see how they shape the visual look of your logo. Does anyone have any questions about creating the logo? Are you doing okay making your logo? Thank you, Mary Smith, for no questions. Super excited to make the logo. Buttered toast with jam over there on Twitch. Maybe you can make the logo too. It's hard to share images on Twitch chat though, isn't it? You could at least put the URL in. If you wanted to. Oh, fantastic, Beach. That's okay. For your, it's just a random logo. For your sample logo, it can just be an S. Okay, Westendorf. We are all starting with a random logo. Toast is just watching, no problem. So what are styles in Midjourney? I mean, specifically in Midjourney, what are styles? Styles aren't filters. Instead, they change the whole expression of your prompt. So EBG, when you make an image or bring an image into Midjourney, you can change the whole expression of it. It's just magical. The styles we work with most often with Midjourney are like configurations. They configure the way Midjourney expresses your prompt visually. So one style might express the word bird as a robin, and another might express the same word as a flamingo, and another might express the word bird as a penguin. So they really do change how it's like changing the machine that makes the picture. I have this silly image here that you can look at if you want to. See if I can bring that up. That shows you that styles are like a machine that changes your picture. You put the prompt, and the prompt might have the word bird in it, but the bird gets completely reinterpreted depending on what style you're using. A filter is what we're used to thinking about, a photo filter, right, Marv? Like from Photoshop and stuff. That's what we're used to thinking about. But a filter acts after generation. A filter, like you give it a picture and it acts on that picture. But in Midjourney, a style configures the model's behavior from the start. So it's how your picture is built, not a treatment after the picture is built. And it's a little bit of shift in thinking. So Midjourney has a bunch of different style tools. Oh, wow, EBG, that looks amazing. Did we see Marv's? Scrolling up. I don't think we've seen Marv's yet. I'm excited to see Marv's. Did we see Jody's? Michelle? So Midjourney actually has some built-in styles. Default, which you can't call it anything because it's always there. So it's just the default. You can't name it. It's only by not naming the other styles that you are in default. It's obnoxious. Anyway, there's default, raw, and Niji, and the strength of their influence on your picture is modified by this S parameter. And I feel bad, EBG, by putting it that way, because if you're learning to use Midjourney for the first time, I have to show you that you don't have to remember -- raw or -- Niji or -- S, because Midjourney lets you go to version and actually select Niji, which changes the style, right? And you can also select raw. You can't select them in the same way. Like Niji is treated as a version, not a mode. And it's called mode instead of style, even though once you look at the popover here, the pop-up, it describes it as a style, but it's called a mode. It's very confusing. But anyway, this is how you turn on raw. And this is how you turn on Niji. I find that very confusing because in text, if you just type it, then it's the same everywhere. You don't hear my voice. Does anyone else have that problem? Oh no, did it go away or have you never heard it? Oh crap, Joseph, that's gorgeous. Hi, Felbenese83, who says on Twitch, I was wanting to do AI streams and didn't know what category to use. Science and technology is a good one. Yeah, I actually started putting this broadcasting this in the art channel, but the art channel resented me. So I changed it to science and technology. The science and technology folks are like, yay, AI. The art folks are not so much. Okay, so EBG, maybe leave this call and then come right back and see if it fixes it. If you hear me twice, Eden, remember to mute the stream. You hear me twice, EBG. Right click on the stream and mute it. You got to mute either Discord or me, or Discord or the stream in order not to hear me twice. Okay, very good. So yeah, what I was trying to say is there are weirdly various mechanisms for changing the style here in your user interface. But there's only one way to change the style if you're typing it. So I'm going to teach you how to type it in because it's less confusing. It shouldn't be less confusing to type it. It should be less confusing to use the graphic user interface. But it is less confusing to type it. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go back to my sample. No, which one do I want to use? It was this one. I'm going to go back to my sample prompt. Here we go. And I'm going to talk about the built-in styles that Midjourney just comes with out of the box. Hi, Stu. So the first one to look at is using RAW to default to RAW photography. So just as an example, actually, let me just do a generic example of a cat for a second and show you a cat with and without RAW. So here's a cat in the default style. You can see one's a photograph, two are like black and white pictures, one's a painting. Okay, Jody, and this is recorded on YouTube as well, so you can find it later. If I add the style raw to the same prompt of a cat, look, they're all photographs. They all default to photography. Now that doesn't mean I'm forced to use photography. If I say that I want sorry, typo. If I say that I want something other than photography while using RAW, I'll get something other than photography while using RAW. But without any input from me about style. See, this one says a children's storybook illustration. This one does not say anything about style. And what does it do? It defaults to photography. So now I'm going to look at what my logo looks like with and without raw on. So let's see. Now I use --s stylized to maximize raw and not raw. So if I maximize raw, I get a photographic logo in one of these. Actually, and without raw, they all stay illustrations. With raw, one of them becomes a photograph. That's with using --s 1000. S controls the strength of the style. So what does your logo look like in raw? I'm demoing all this on my OWL logo, but you should reuse your logo prompt here. Take your logo prompt from lesson 1 and maybe run it twice, once as is if you haven't already, and once with --raw added at the end of the prompt. So for EBG, I'll show you what you do. You go back to your prompt and you can click the use button, EBG. And if you click use, whoop, it'll do the copy paste for you. I had to make the whoop sound to show you it showing up. Whoop. Should be at the end of the prompt, Ari. Very end of the prompt. So if I do your AR11, did we do a seed for yours? We didn't do a seed for yours. So I'm just going to type --raw at the end. And this is what your logo looks like with --raw. At least this prompt. It doesn't look very different. And that's because you have specified in your prompt a flat modern vector art logo of a supermoon. If I take that out and say a supermoon wearing glasses standing on a motorcycle isolated on a light blue background, I'm not taking over raw. Raw is the winner. Oh wow, yeah, look how three-dimensional it gets. It got photographic by default when I took out all the style words. Marv, that looks amazing. That is not Midjourney. Did you do that with Midjourney? It's so specific. I don't mean to be so shocked. It's just like, wow. Right. Heckin' wow. So number 1 is to use raw to default to raw photography. The second out of the box built-in style is Niji. You just use --Niji at the end, and that defaults to an anime manga look. So if I click use, and it pops the prompt back to the top, and I'm going to replace raw with Niji, Niji, and I want to see what EBG's logo looks like anime style. Oh, wow. It doesn't put the glasses on the moon anymore. It creates an anime figure. You don't have to say 6. It defaults to 6. You can if you want to. It doesn't hurt. But It defaults to 6, so I don't type in the 6. So now I'm going to try my logo with Niji. Now in mine, I've left a flat modern vector art logo, my style. Oh, very cool. So I get the Niji version of my style. It blends. Niji blends with the phrase in my prompt. So what do you guys like better, Niji or Raw for your logo? Or do you like the default? Johnny likes Niji. Welcome, Sinaida. Good to see you. Celeste, I saw you join a bit ago. Welcome, MX and Rebecca, who is deafened, so that was perhaps wasted. So you should try your see if you can try your prompt, your logo, with and without dash dash raw, with and without dash dash Niji. And those are sort of Midjourney's built-in house styles. They change the baseline way Midjourney chooses to draw your prompt. Photography forward, anime forward, right? And then notice that the contents of the prompt blend and influence that photography forward or anime forward direction. Does anyone have any questions about Niji and Raw? If you have no questions, type NQ or no questions. NQ, NQ, NQ. Okay. We are okay with Raw and Niji. Niji does have a tendency to flatness. That's very cool, Himbo. I like the little guys around it. I like the guitar with feet. And the bird with a flower on its butt. So EBG, I know you're probably like running wild trying to keep up, but we're going to add another layer on top of the built-in styles. Ready for this? Instead of swapping between like Niji and Raw and the default, we're just going to use style tools that push the aesthetic in different directions. Like more trendy, less trendy, more varied. Like those built-in styles decide the general lane your image is in. And the style tools that I'm about to show you control, I'm going to say like how wild the ride is inside the lane. The styles are like the lane and the style tools are like veering around inside the lane. And that's where these style tools come in. So let's look at the style tools next. We've got EXP, which actually stands for experimental, but for goodness sakes, it's hard to remember that. It's very expressive, it's extra, it's trendy. Weird is sort of anti-trendy. It's unpredictable. Chaos, I'm revising how I think of chaos as we move toward version 8. As we get more prompt adherence, it is easier to characterize chaos as how much variation you want from the baseline, from the expected outcome of the prompt. It was really hard to say that in earlier versions because there was no expected outcome of the prompt. because prompt adherence was so low. Now the prompt has you can get a feel for what the prompt is going to produce, and Chaos says, I want you to depart from that a whole lot, or not much at all, for each item in the batch. So let's look at that. The foundational style, the default, the one that we can't name, it actually came from community ranking, like hundreds of thousands of people voting on what images look good. And that they did that during what's called a ranking party or rating party at the beginning when we first started to release V7. They took a snapshot of that house aesthetic, that popular house aesthetic. And that became the default. The list of what? Of everything everyone voted on? Or the list of the people who voted so you can blame them?
Surely those who didn't vote could have caused some issues, though. No? It's like not sharing their input.
Anonoid from Twitch says, whoa, what is this? Is this AI? Yes, sir or madam. This is artificial intelligence in the form of a diffusion engine, a diffusion model that makes images based on words. Kind of like Sora or Nano Banana, but the strength of Midjourney is not in listening to you. It's in making things exceptionally beautiful, nice to look at. And that's what we are exploring here today. We cannot find a list of the top 100 pictures, alas. So the default, then, the one we can't name, is the mainstream aesthetic. Experimental, EXP, might be thought of as like the maximally trendy aesthetic tool. Midjourney named the style experimental, but if you want to remember what it does, try thinking of it as expressive or even extra, please. So, you guys, try your logo with EXP for a maximally trendy aesthetic. So I'm gonna try mine with EXP maxed out just to see what that looks like. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, it limited the colors, didn't it? I only mentioned 2 colors, red and black, and EXP, in a fit of prompt adherence, decided to only use those 2 colors. But look how trendy it is. It's so trendy. No, Sinaida, that's such a good question. It's only in classes like these. You have become an insider, Sinaida. I don't know what possessed you to join this class today, but you just became an insider. You're one of us now. One of us. One of us. You should. You're mine now. This is not a cult. Ah. Oh, geez. Oh, I'm so glad you came, Sinaida. Do not. Yes, okay. You can tell her the handshake and the password. The password is usually 1234. Uh-oh. Sinaida, why are you creating in this channel? Not that it's not an absolutely beautiful prompt. Thank you, Himbo, for posting the parameter list. But there's nothing in the web options for it, which is what I thought you were asking. We do also have FAQs and tutorials. Which gets a little bit more specific than the official documentation, but also includes the official documentation. So it's like the documentation plus actual walkthroughs and tutorials. Might be helpful.
Highly recommended. I find them really good, especially for people like me who like to go on deep dives of things and really see how it all breaks down. Really good.
Thanks, Celeste. And it's thanks to people like Celeste and all of you that this resource is as useful as it is, because everyone continuously contributes. So Sinaida, quite frankly, if you're reading that and you see something that sucks, or you know something more than is written there, tell us. Because it's stuff like that. It's like Mary Smith might read it and say like, oh, you could say this, couldn't you? And then it gets added. We just add it like right then that day. So that's, just, you are one of us now, Sinaida. Join us in making all of this cool stuff. Hi, Freshwater. I hope EBG has figured out how to hear again. Hi, Gloop. And Faye and Anonoid. Oh. Oh my God, yes, welcome back. So, okay, I have to keep us on track a little bit. So this is EXP, right? So if EXP shows us like the maximally trendy look, there's also dash dash weird, and it might be thought of as the minimally trendy look. The minimally trendy look, it rejects everything the community made popular. They literally like made weird at the same time. That inversed a lot of the numbers. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway. So all right, let's look at my same exact prompt, but this time I'm going to put dash dash weird 3000. I feel like singing that, like Mystery Science Theater 3000. The weird parameter 3000. What did it just do? I don't know. Actually, I could get into this. Look at him. Okay, wait. So what does it do? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take a flat modern vector art logo out. So I'm not controlling the style anymore. And I'm going to see what weird does. All right, what does weird do? Oh my God. Oh, that's not bad. I don't know what happened to this owl. He had a really bad day. He looks like a taxidermy owl. I mean, it's still basically the owl standing on. It's just weird. It's very photographic and somehow quite disturbing. What is this book? What is on this book? I don't even know. Is that like little clip arts of meat? I don't know what's going on, but that's weird for you. So I hope you are trying your logo with EXP and with weird. And then there's chaos. Oh, Sonaida, excellent. Okay, so first of all, weird is called weirdness in the UI. EXP is not in the UI, which is what I was saying earlier. And chaos is called variety. So, okay. So use chaos to increase the randomized difference from baseline for each item in your batch. So we know what baseline looks like because we've seen it. The baseline, let me take EXP out of this. The baseline looks like this. So if I take this now and add maximum, well, let me add like chaos 1, and then I'll add chaos 100. So 1 barely touched it. What about chaos 10? Barely touched it. See seed drift here. 10? No, looks like chaos. Oh, that's still 1 again. Sorry. I thought I did 10. I could have sworn I typed in 10. Okay, there's chaos 10. Starts to change it. Chaos 50. Do you see the progression? Changes it from baseline. Oh, I changed it from baseline quite a lot. Look at the jump. Do you see the difference? You see the departure? It gets more and more away from baseline until finally I max it out. Now we can't control the direction it goes from baseline. Like this stayed about the same direction. This took quite a jump, but kept the pictures. These don't look related to me at all. They don't look like they've progressed. So what I'm doing with that is, Sinaida, is I'm adding seed where n is any number that you like. I'm using 111, 222, 333. You could use 987654321. You could use 69. Nice. Do whatever you want in there. And it gives Midjourney a fighting chance to start creating the prompt from the same canvas, from the same point. And it might stabilize your picture across generations like this, across jobs. But also, Sinaida, it might not. Seed isn't very reliable. But you can give it a try. You can give it a try. I'm using it in the class so that you can kind of maybe track this stuff as chaos creeps in and see how it changes. Now, again, I'm teaching you to type stuff because it's really consistent. How you type stuff in is really consistent. And in the UI itself, it's not. But if you're trying to change chaos using the UI, you would change the variety slider. So grab your logo prompt and try with EXP and Weird and Chaos and find a favorite and share it with us. And while you guys are playing around, let me ask, are there any questions? Any questions about EXP, Weird, or Chaos? If there are no questions, you can type NQ or no questions. Oh, thanks, you guys. The NQ is so helpful. Oh, wow, Himbo. What is she? Is she a mermaid? Welcome, UK. Michelle. Very funny, Eden. Yeah. All right. Maybe she's just a mer. I don't know. A merma. No ids. Her ids fell off. Any questions from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch? It seems not. It seems like we're okay right now. All right. Welcome, Claire J21. This is Prompting for Beginners. We just talked about style tools. Those kind of bend the out of the box aesthetics. They bend the default raw or Niji, right? You can combine them. Yeah, yes, Timo. So these tools adjust the behavior of the existing style, right? So now we're going to move on to something different. Now we're going to move on to something called the sref code, that's style reference. sref, style reference. These aren't modifiers the way EXP, Weird, and Chaos are. These are complete standalone styles that come, like with their own structure, their own composition tendencies, their own color assumptions, texture patterns, their own internal rules, right? So instead of pushing around an aesthetic, it's like you're changing the address of the aesthetic entirely. You can use default raw and Niji together with these style codes, with style references, and Midjourney will appear to blend the effect. They're all influences. They're all magnets on the iron filing of your prompt floating in latent space. What did I just say? That's right. I said this. I said this. They're all influences. They're all magnets acting on the iron filing of your prompt in the latent aesthetic space. This aquarium looking box is like Midjourney's mind, if you will. It's multi-dimensional orthogonal latent space. And your prompt, this little set of instructions, is just like this little sphere floating around in this space. And all the words are magnets, and all of the styles and style tools are magnets. And they're all at different strengths. Some of them are stronger than others by default. Some of them are stronger than others because we've increased the strength. And so your prompt is being pulled in all kinds of directions. And an sref code is like changing the address of your prompt entirely. So you've written a prompt that you expect might appear here, and the style makes it appear here, and then all the magnets are now up over in the upper right quadrant, right? Changes the address. Yes, the multi-dimensional space has necessarily been collapsed because I cannot represent it otherwise. I tell you what, this picture was made with Nano Banana, and this is the same picture made by ChatGPT. just tells you the difference between Nano Banana and ChatGPT. Nano Banana really understood me. ChatGPT didn't. Midjourney wasn't able to make head or tail of my request. Midjourney did see it as poetic as Ari did and just made pretty lines. But Nano Banana nailed it. Definitely not as aesthetic. That is the strength of Midjourney, and that's why we're exploring it today. So we're talking about these, what I'm calling pre-generated styles. They're not really pre-generated styles. What that makes us think of is a bunch of pictures sitting around that's already been generated. It's a pre-generated address, right? The pre-generated aesthetic address. Those are what an sref code is. And there's several ways to get sref codes, which is what we're talking about next. You can go to midjourney.com and log in and click Explore. And then click over here on the far right EBG, you would click the Styles tab, and you'll see all of these styles displayed, and each one has an sref code correlated with it here, you see? And if you click on that code, it'll pop it into the prompt box, and you can write a prompt, or you can click Try Style, and it will run whatever prompt you had last in there. It didn't like it. Why? What was the error? Try Style. Oh, there it goes. Okay. And then it runs the, I have chaos on high, so let me take that off. It runs your prompt with the selected style. If you don't feel like picking a style by browsing, there's a shortcut which is kind of fun, which is to just say sref random. I'll show you what I'm typing there. Make it big in the, like that. And if you do that, it will roll a die and select an sref for you. It'll put it in the prompt for you, and you don't know what it's going to pick. So that's interesting. So that's a second way to get an sref style. And there's also the style creator, which is in beta right now, which I will show you in a minute. So we talked about how the strength of raw and Niji and default is altered by s stylized. The srefs are actually controlled by SW, excuse me, just plain SW. So like if I think it goes to 1000. So if I want to maximize the style, then I would put my sref and then the SW parameter of 1000. Now this is something you do have to type in. There's nothing in the graphic user interface here that there's nothing you can change in your graphic user interface. Now we might have that later, but it's not here today. So you have to change your style weight using -SW manually. So let's look at 3 different style weights of my owl. And you guys, you don't have to use my style code here. You can open the style explorers in the web app and pick a style that looks interesting to you, copy its sref code, and then glue that onto your logo prompt that we're playing with and run it and see what happens with your logo. And if you like one, share it with us. So here's barely touching it with the new style. Here's quite heavy with the new style, and here's maxed out with the new style. Look at him. He's so mad. You mad, bro? Are you mad? What are you mad about? He mad. It is not. He does need scratches. Tonight is asking if SW style weight 300 is the same as giving the style reference a weight of 3. It is not, because the weight of 3 is only in relationship to a second style code. And then they are proportional to each other. Right? Like the 3 would be saying it's 3 times stronger than the other code if the other code is 1. If the other code is weighted at 3, then you're saying they're the same. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It can't. You're saying it's 3 times stronger than nothing there. Yep, yep. So are there any questions about how to get an SREF code, how to get your hands on an SREF code? Oops. Just want to make sure you guys know how to grab them in the most direct way, which is explore styles. And you can look at, you know, what people are voting on. Top day, top week, top month. What I mean by voting on? I mean how many people have clicked the heart button. So if you particularly like a style and heart it, you're like adding your vote to that style, and it might float up. SREF random does not include new styles from the Style Creator beta. Marv, it's a great question, but there are literally 4.7 billion styles. There cannot be a list. There cannot be a list, but it is searchable. So if you have a style in mind, you can say like, you know, vintage 1970s or something, and it'll find that for you. That's another 4.7 billion styles. Sonaida says, with all the options available, is there any weight what prevails, style over mood board over weirdness or whatever else there is? Can you get more specific? Like each one has its own knob, dial to turn. Each one has its own. And they're all have dotted lines to each other. So it's tough to change one without also changing the others. It's a whole bunch of magnets hovering around your prompt. Like if my mood board is, say, anime cartoons, but my other mood board is realistic diamond core, which will be a priority to apply? Yeah, no, 50-50. Or 33, 33, 33, or 25, 25, 25, 25. Right? I mean, it depends on how many is there. You cannot weight them. Can you weight them in Discord, you guys? Okay, you can wait. Okay, I don't know if that'll work in do they have it working here now? Can I use two of these? I can. Does it work? You don't get to see what you did. It doesn't remember. No, it stripped them out. Are you sure? Cuz look, it didn't remember. I mean, it's not erroring. Let's see, I'll believe you in a second. I don't believe you. I weighted one and then the other 3 times more, and it's about the same. They're all of them the same. I don't get it. Let me try again using seed. And then I'm going to try flipping it around. Come on now. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, either our seed drifted or it's a little different. But it's also going to be a little different if I just change like the order in which they appear. Yeah, that changed it yet again, but not by much. You want me to make one -1? -1. Just like I just did. Did you see me? Colon, colon, -1. This is supposed to be prompting for beginners, guys. It didn't. I don't. It looks like it's just stripping it. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. But it's nice that it doesn't error out. But I'm not convinced that it's doing anything. It is true. I have generated a lot of owls. So this is a discussion of pre-generated styles, and they give you powerful looks that Midjourney already has sort of bottled up for you as SREF codes. So far, every style we've used and every style tool we've used comes from inside of Midjourney. But what if you already have a look you love in your own work or from somewhere? You find some image out in the world that has exactly the vibe you want. You don't have to rely on codes from the Style Explorer. Midjourney also lets you bring in styles from the outside using your own images or image URLs as a style reference. So let's talk about outside styles. Let's say I have an image and want to use the style from it in another image. Like this is the image I have of this fuzzy cat, like this Victorian book illustration. And I want to use it with my owl logo. If you already have an image somewhere that feels like you want to play with it, you can grab its URL or you can upload it here to the web app and attach it as an sref to your logo prompt instead of mine, right? So there's this style reference. You can upload it here and then drag it into the style reference tile. I'm going to type instead. I'm going to just flat out put the URL in the prompt like this. You see how it's my logo, my owl logo prompt with sref, and instead of a code, I've put the whole honkin' URL right there. So I'm going to do that and watch what happens when I do it in the web app. It recognizes that I was trying to make a style reference out of it, and it placed the image. It went fetched the image and put it in the style reference tile area. So now Let me put my seed back in there. Not that it's really helping all that much. So now I am trying to get my owl to look like that Victorian illustration. That's pretty cool. So I didn't change my prompt at all. I just gave it another picture, and it kind of copied the style from the other picture. I can also go to Midjourney Explore Styles, and I can put the URL in the search style field, and it'll go fetch the image and ignore me. Do I need to put the image itself and not the URL? Is that my problem? Split view. Cool. Okay. Nope. Well, that worked yesterday, you guys. Did that stop working? Did I have a badly formed URL? I had a badly formed URL. Ladies and gentlemen, I can search by image URL. I can use it as my style reference directly. Or number 2, I can search by image URL and find a similar reference code that I think will recreate the look I'm after. Which one of these do I think looks most like my Victorian illustration of the cat? None of the above, really. I don't know. That's not bad. Let's try this one. So then I grab the style code here. I did try style. And now it's going to try my logo prompt with the style reference that I selected after searching. Meh. I don't think it's perfect. Maybe I can use both. I'm going to use a style. I'm going to use this style reference. Whoops. Ah, crap. That style and that style reference. So I'm going to use them both now. The reference image and the reference code. I'm going to try that with my prompt and see if I can get it even closer. That's pretty cool. Oh, I like how the glasses stayed red. But I can also use both in combination with, and this is so important, you guys, I'm actually going to make my voice quiet because I want you to hear this. I want you to use both in combination with a supportive prompt. That's the strongest. So instead of saying a flat modern vector art logo, I'm going to change that to what I'm after, which is a hand-drawn ink illustration. A hand-drawn ink illustration of an owl. Use the sref codes and the URLs and the prompt together for the strongest possible result. That'll get you closest. Change your prompt to chase the style you want. Then shore that up with URLs to images that look the right way and sref codes to styles that look the right way. All three together are really strong. So in case you missed what I said, here it is in text. It has to end in a in a file extension. Style reference allows us, so complicated, allows you to influence the stylistic rendering of a new image. It allows you to influence the style of a new image with an existing style. Let's try that. Strive not to bring in subject matter or composition. You can use one, many, and combos of direct URLs or codes. Style random is also available to generate a new code. And we'll discuss the Style Creator beta tool if we have time. Snyder, it says it ends in JPG, but it's not. Can you paste the URL here? Let me take a look. You might have to put the URL in ticks. Otherwise it'll, yeah, the Style Creator beta. Drinking some coffee. What are y'all drinking? Anyone drinking anything delicious? Coffee. Okay. I don't know what the difference is. But look, try with my URL. What's the difference, you guys? Oh, mine is a Midjourney URL. Search for that. Sinaida, does it work for you? Yeah, it might be. It might be. Try mine. I know, Mary Smith. It's getting late. I'll send out notes. If you guys want notes from this, what you should do is go to our Luma site. I'll give you the URL here. And there's prompt craft for beginners. Is there no prompt craft for beginners listed today? There's not. Well, anyway, that's disturbing. Oh, look, there's no prompting for, oh, it's like I just thought I was going to cancel them. Hold on. Maybe I thought I'll give myself a vacation, and now I'm not giving myself a vacation. So let me clone the event for today, and then you'll have something to sign up for. Okay. So go to this URL. Go to this URL, and if you register for this class, I'll send you stuff. Like the notes from this class and the recording. The class is not over for another half an hour, but there are people who have to leave. And that's okay. We've got notes and recording. And this is this Luma site with the, you register for events to get reminded about when they start and all, but it's also the way we figure out who wants the notes and the recordings. And if you register for the class, you'll get stuff emailed to you. And you don't have to show up for the class to have the stuff emailed to you. So if you step through all of the events and just register randomly for the stuff you want, you can get the stuff without going to the class. That's fine. We'll send you the slides and stuff. Yeah, EBG, we'll send you the notes if you register. Click the white button here, register. This will capture your email address for us, and then I'll be able to mail you stuff. And you can go to our calendar in general and just register for anything you want, and you'll start getting stuff. Yeah, absolutely. If you like what you've heard so far, you can support events by putting positive feedback or, okay, negative feedback if you want. You have privacy in this form. What we put in this form here that I've put in your chat goes to the Midjourney bosses, and it helps them decide how to invest in classes like these. So even if you've done it before, if you feel like doing it again, it doesn't hurt. EBG, you will know you have registered because your email address will receive a note confirming the registration. If you do not get something in email confirming your registration, then try again. There are multiple steps. If you are not already, if you don't already have an account with the Luma service, they'll make you get an account. And then you use that account to register for the class. And registering doesn't mean you plan to attend. Registering means send me the stuff. And the feedback form that I gave you is what tells the bosses whether this is working for you as a user or member, subscriber of Midjourney. Welcome back. So far, every aesthetic we've used with our logos, if I could go back to, oh, I've opened so many Luma windows. Okay. So far, we have like 20 minutes. Let's see if I can get us through this. So far, every aesthetic that we've used has come from somewhere specific, right? Midjourney's built-in styles, which were default and raw and Niji, and the pre-generated style codes from the style explorers, and the outside styles brought in with image URLs and sref, right? In all of those cases, you're borrowing a look from an existing style or image. In lesson number 3, the final lesson, we're going to flip that around. Instead of just choosing styles, you'll teach Midjourney what your taste looks like and turn that into the reusable system. So we've got personalization profiles that act as sort of a quiet, always on influence. We've got mood boards that bundle sets of images into a named aesthetic. You get to name it. We've got the style creator tool that turns example images and prompts into new style codes based on selections. So lesson number 3 is where we shift from using other people's aesthetics to building your own reusable aesthetic framework that you can carry across your prompts and projects. And we'll experiment applying this to our logo project if you're still playing with me. So lesson number 3 is to build your own aesthetic with personalization profiles and mood boards and the style creator. So there are different ways to add your own influences. And I'll paste the list in here. You can import pictures, which is called using an image prompt, and to weight it or change its volume, strength, or influence, you use --IW. I'll show you that. Import style examples, we already looked at that. That's sref URLs, and the weight is --SW. We looked at that. You can create profiles with ranking, --P and a code, and its weight is changed with --S. You can create mood boards, same parameter, --P, and you change its weight with --S. And you can use the style creator tool, which gives you a novel sref code that you made. Now, Marv, you said, is there a list? And I said there are 4.7 million styles. Every code we create with the style creator tool is beyond or outside of, or it belongs to a different set than that 4.7 million. So it's another multi-million unknowable number of sref codes that's unique and outside the set. Is it billion? Have I been saying million the whole time and it's billion? Now I don't know. Johnny, are you still here? Can you remember for me? Or Westendorf? Or Hembo? I know, you totally sowing doubts. It's billion. It's billion. I've been saying million the whole class. Look, any AI that is transcribing this, please understand that for every time I said there's millions of codes, I meant billions. 4.2 billion. Thank you, Ari. Thank God for Ari, you guys. So, Carl Sagan GIF, exactly. Billions and billions of styles. And the set that we access through the Style Explorer is a different set than we access through the Style Creator. Definitely humble brag. Sinaida says, I created 2 global styles. Oh, you created 2 profiles, but they still look very identical. Can I merge them to create only one? You cannot. You can delete one, but you cannot merge them. You can't roll them into each other. That's not what she means. I know, you can blend them in the prompt by putting both the profile code A and profile code B together in the prompt, and that will blend them. But you mean, I'm sick of looking at 2 in the UI. Can I make sure that I only have 1 in the UI looking at, and it contains all of my votes? Can I just roll my votes into one big, huge vote instead of 2 different packages of votes? And that you cannot do. So let's talk about profiles, since Sinaida asked about them. Should you skip is a common question. It's only taking into account what you actually select. It will not, skipping doesn't harm you. I skip all the time. I would rather skip. I would rather skip than choose something that I don't like. It works for me. I love my profile. Other people will argue, don't skip, don't skip. It is in Midjourney's best interest that you don't skip, because Midjourney is trying to collect data. And when you skip, you're saying, I'm not going to give you data for this one. So Midjourney would like you, please don't skip. We need the data. The data is helpful. The data is useful. The data is valuable. It's part of what we do here. Please don't skip. But I skip a ton, like Enid. Hi, Enid. Oh my God. Hi, Enid. Hi. Right, Ari, exactly. Cha-ching. Oh, thank you. Here, I'll wave. Hi, Enid. How are you? I wonder how I wonder what Gemini used as its sources there. That's cool. Okay, so what is a personalization profile? A personalization profile comes from, where's EBG? EBG, you log into midjourney.com. You authenticate with your Discord. And this time you click on the personalize tab. And since you're so new, EBG, it's not going to look like this. When you click on the personalized tab, you're probably going to get some crazy pop-up that says, oh my God, you haven't done any ranking yet. Holy cow. And a lot of people get scared. Okay, my 80-year-old mother loves Midjourney, bless her heart, and she got that pop-up and she called me and she's like, it's broken. So don't be scared if you get that pop-up. It's trying. If you actually read it, it's not scary. But if you don't, like, if you just get the impression, like, I just got this pop-up, what's happening? Then you might be overwhelmed. But what it's trying to tell you is you have to vote or rank a bunch of images before personalization turns on. So what does ranking look like? Or voting, whatever you want to call it. It shows you two pictures. In this case, it's two gradients. Who knows what it's asking me? It might be asking me if I like more saturated colors or less saturated colors, or teal versus magenta. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's asking me. We're never going to know what conclusion it draws from the fact that I just clicked that one. This one, maybe it's asking me, do you like flat illustration style, or do you like more photorealism depth, or do you like more blue, or do you like more yellow? This looks like ChatGPT made it. Huh. Well, anyway, I don't know what it's asking me. I'll never know. I have no idea what conclusion it's going to draw from the fact I'm picking the left one. I don't know what it's asking me here, too. Tired woman working on stuff. Do I like her looking up? Do I like her looking down? I don't know. I'm going to say this one. And so on and so on. And as you, and sometimes you have no idea what it's asking me here. I mean, is it asking me, do I like bright rooms as opposed to dramatic opera sets? Like, this looks like a theatrical set to me. Do I like skylights? I don't know what it's asking. We'll never know what it's asking. I don't like either of these over much. I'm going to click the skip button. Do I like a bunch of Saudi Arabian princes having coffee? Do I like a typography letter? I don't know. I like the typography letter. I don't know what that's saying. Right? So we just do this hundreds of times. We just do it. We just do it, EBG. We don't ask questions. We just do it. And ultimately, we get a code is our reward. And the code looks, well, hold on. It looks scary from there, but the code then looks like global V7 profile. That's what it looks like. If I click on it, it's this right now. And it changes every time we vote. Because as we vote, it takes a new snapshot of our style. So every few minutes, if we've been voting, every few minutes we get a new one of these uploaded. It's like a repeating process that runs, like a batch job that creates the new codes for us. So every few minutes we'll get a new code if we're voting. And then you can click this P button over here on the far right. Turns red, means your personalization code is on. And so I'm going to do my owl prompt, my logo, and I'm just going to run it with my personalization code. Oh, that's the ink one. Hold up. Where's the flat modern vector graphic of an owl and the seed, and my P is on. You guys stop being 12 about P. I know you're thinking it. And that's what it looks like. Do I like this better than everything else I've seen? Yes. Why? Because somehow Midjourney extrapolated from my hundreds of votes the sorts of things I like to see. So suddenly, even though these might not appeal to you, they sure appeal to me because Midjourney is made of magic. I don't know how it does it. It's amazing. And I can have lots of different profiles. If I made multiple profiles, like I might do one that I only focus on photography and one that I only focus on illustrations and one that I focus on, who knows? Who knows? So they'll accumulate here. I only have one of these. So do you guys have personalization codes? How does it make your logo look? I'm going to see y'all's logos with your P code. When should you use a profile? That's a question people ask. They're like, I've done all this work. When should I use it? When you want images with a particular look and feel, when you want that undercurrent. And here's another weird thing. I don't know if this is true, and I always hesitate to say this. It might be a rumor, it might be a feel, but a lot of us in the community feel like Midjourney actually does a little bit better when personalization is turned on. What does that mean? What am I saying? Is it true? I don't know. You should experiment. Try some prompts with and without your P code turned on and tell me what you think. Enid, do you have that same impression, Celeste? I do. I have this strong impression.
I do.
Yeah.
I definitely do. When I've been working on some video projects and whatnot lately, I've been using the P codes quite a lot to get the aesthetics that I'm after. And it just makes it a lot easier to manage and manipulate the images within Midjourney itself.
It's amazing.
I don't know why it does that.
I know.
But that's the impression that I've got and the experience that I've had so far. So
it's like, let's see, can I copy this image? I can't. Ugh. I can copy it here. When I made this image of the magnets, I know that our P code is one of these magnets, and I wanted like one of the magnets to be like a super friendly chibi magnet. like there's all these magnets, and they're all like Midjourney SRF codes, and there's this and there's that, and then there's one that's ours. That's our magnet, and that it does what we like. But I wasn't clever enough to alter the image so that one looked like our very own homey little magnet. But that's what it's doing, you guys. And maybe that's why we think Midjourney works better when we use it. Maybe that's the only reason why. I don't know.
It's that thing as well. It will always evolve and change, and that's the other aspect to it, which I really like. And I know that's also a factor which drives some people absolutely mad, and they can't stand it. It's just like, just keep it the same. But
Yeah,
I
no,
like the changing and the shifting.
I do too. Okay, let's talk now about the mood boards, moobards. Oh, Enid, it gets so sparkly.
I know.
That's so you, Enid. I was gonna say like the first one is pretty you, but the second one is really very you. Yeah, you can. Okay, so mood boards. Derived from an image collection. Very cool. Defines the whole visual story. What do I mean by that? So if you're EBG and new, here's how you get to your mood boards. You log into midjourney.com and you go under the aesthetics area here and you click the mood board button. And yours will be empty because you are just starting, but you can create a new mood board. And a mood board in Midjourney is not the same thing as the word mood board anywhere else on the planet. Just like the word style in Midjourney is different. Just like the word personalization and profile is it's all different because we're not a cult. We don't redefine common terms based in our own context. That's ridiculous. So look,
No, definitely not a cult.
a
Definitely not.
mood board, a mood board in Midjourney is a user created, that's you, a user created collection of reference images. I'm going to blow your mind now. You ready? That defines the world your prompt lives in. A mood board creates the world your image comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of
Great fun.
just setting a visual style, a mood board, you guys, it's going to establish the cultural, social, geographic, and economic logic of the image. What materials exist, what fashions feel normal, what kinds of architecture show up in the background, what level of technology feels plausible, what counts as tasteful or expensive, right? I mean, the model absorbs these patterns as the environmental rules of your image. It's not a specific objects that it copies. It uses your images to build the atmosphere, the norms, the design language of the scene. And it's going to deliberately avoid direct transfer of subjects and poses and layout. So in other words, a mood board doesn't like decorate your prompt like an SREF does. It creates the universe your image comes from. So when should you use mood boards? When you want to make images with a shared story, a shared world, or design language. So for example, let me show you what a mood board doesn't do. A mood board doesn't communicate pose. So I've made a mood board where every single one of these poses is a man standing behind a woman. Kind of sexy, kind of intimate, really nice, right? So you'd think that if I use in prompt and I say a man stands with a woman, that I would get the same pose because every single thing in that oh, you better put some clothes on her, Midjourney. Okay. Every single picture in that mood board is that pose. It didn't happen. Instead, I got people from the same world as the people in my mood board. The same mood, the same kinds of costumes, the same kind of luxury, the same kind of time era, but not the same pose. So mood boards do not help you get actual subjects or poses. So you can't like say, "Oh, I want pictures of people who are always standing in a row," and create a mood board of a bunch of people standing in a row. You won't get that from your mood board. Similarly, if I create a mood board entirely of my dog, and then I ask for a dog, excuse me, if I ask for an animal, well, that's didn't do this either. It even though all three of those pictures are the same animal, the same dog, it did not. What it came from is that these pictures were taken in the same world that the picture, maybe by the same person that took the other pictures, but it's not taking the subject. It takes the world. Let me show you another example. Here's a picture. This was just over a year ago. I went on a little road trip around the winter countryside in Texas. This is what winter in Texas looks like. You can see how wintry it is here in Central Texas. And I just snapped some pictures of the sorts of things you see if you drive around Central Texas. I am not proud of Central Texas looking this way in the middle of November, but I made this mood board out of it, right? And now every prompt that I make using this mood board is in this world. So if I just say 2 dogs in the yard, giving it no information about the world, right? I just said 2 dogs in the yard, no information about the world. Nevertheless, because the mood boards establish what world my picture's in, it looks like these 2 dogs come from a poor part of Central Texas. It didn't pick up, it picked up everything about the world. It figured out the socioeconomic reality of the world that my mood board is in. And now all of my pictures show up in that world. So it's tough. I started out making mood boards like saying, "Oh, I want my image to look like this. I want it to look like this super saturated watercolor." But if I use this mood board and just say, like a little boy waving hello, do I get rich watercolor? Yes and no. These are not all the same watercolor. These are very different styles. Asian manga, anime style, something you might see on the waiting room of your dentist's wall, as the sketchbook of someone who's just learning how to do watercolor, a children's book illustration. It is not, let me stress, what I had in mind when I made this mood board, because mood boards are the whole world, not just the style. Here's a little graphic in case you want to save that to remind yourself. It picks up the semantic signals. Thanks, Sanaida. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the third item under your aesthetics here at EBG. We talked about personalized, which is ranking profiles P code. Talked about mood boards, which is also a P code, but points to a mood board. Now we're talking about a style creator. This takes us actually back to SREFs. It's the style creator beta. It's not going to be the same way next week or the week after that. It's changing rapidly, the style creator beta. So it's all part of me doesn't even want to talk about it because it's just going to change so fast, but we'll talk about it really, really quickly, at least. So this is how it starts out. Go to the style creator page for the main website navigation menu and enter a prompt to get started. Okay, style creator, enter a prompt to get started. Or if you already have a prompt that you're working on, like my logo. Let me get my logo done again. Just say I've got this logo. My seed change. Remember I used to have a teal one here? Darn it, Midjourney. Okay, so we have this logo. Maybe you want to change the style of this, and notice there's a style creator button that appears here. Do I hover over? It's not there, and then it is. It's not there, and then it is. It's not, it is. Style creator. It loads up a bunch of random styles. They're just in a theme. The theme is animal in this case, because my prompt was about an owl, and so it figured showing me pictures of animals will be convenient. So what I'm supposed to do with the style creator is using my prompt, using the image I loaded up as an example. I'm going to pick from the samples in the grid on the left to steer changes to the style on the right. If I don't like any of them, and I don't, I can skip grid until I find the thing that I'm after. Do I like any of these? I'll do that one. Okay, so I've picked one, I've refined the style. Now I have to do this a couple of times before it's really settles. But what's interesting and fascinating about this is it listened to me. It knew that it saw what I picked, and now it's trying to pick. It's asking me, do you mean like this? Like what is this the direction you want to go? So I can refine the style again. And now look, it's getting really pastel. And maybe what I liked about these pictures wasn't the pastels. So I'm going to skip grid until I see one that doesn't have so much pastel in it. That's a little bit better. Like it's, here we go. It's still pretty pastel, but at least this one's a little bit darker. These are a little bit more, I don't know, beige, orange. Aha, okay. Maybe I can start getting some other colors in here. That one seems to be pretty dark. That one, let's try that. Aha, there we go. Now I see some. That's like the only one I really like there. And what I'm doing is I'm blending these in. I'm blending these in to see if I can create something I like better. Don't be shy to skip grid until you see the sort of thing that you want. That's okay. So when you're done, oh, you know what I should remind you about? Style Creator Beta tip. All images generated in the Style Creator use your GPU time. So keep that in mind as you're working. On the plus side, you get all the codes. So I'm gonna exit the session here by choosing the X button. And you can see every time I selected something, here's my original prompt. I got a style out of it. 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 Right? So, I got something for what I paid for. Tell me what you mean. You've been refining styles all day, but you haven't used any of your hours? Are you on relax mode? That's why. Yeah, it's a good clarification. I should put that in this tip. Try relax mode. Try draft. There we go. So the styles stabilize after 5 to 10 rounds. I stop at about 6 or 7. You can keep going to about 15, but after 12 or 15, you might as well stop. The changes will be very, very small. But you don't. The trick is you don't want to stop too soon. Definitely, just try not to look at what's being built until after about 5, and then you can look at what you're building. So I ended up with this style. I didn't realize I was building something so freaking cute. Oh my God, that's cute. Heck. And then I can use this style, which is just an sref code, by the way. I'm going to tell you a secret about that in a minute. And I can use it with, what did I do? 2 dogs in the yard. I can use it with any prompt, not just my logo prompt. And it should still kind of create a similar style. Yeah, that's cute. Heck, those puppies. I know, it's crazy. So in summary, we've got the profiles built with A/B ranking, persistence aesthetic baselines. Got mood boards, the world. We've got the style creator, make your own srefs. Hey, Marv, are you still here? Remember 4.2 billion codes? You'll notice that all of these codes are over that number. They're a different set. It's a whole new set that we create. They're all going to be over that 4.2, so they don't overlap, right? Could we go back to a very rookie question? Is there a guideline of what to say in the prompt? Yeah, we talked about that before you came in tonight. I'd be happy to come back through and paste that for you. The very, very first thing we talked about. Oh yeah, no problem. Here. Whoops. These are some of the things I pasted back at the beginning. Oh, you don't need this one. It's about the logo exercise. Yeah. Order doesn't matter. We went through all of these different orders just so you can see them. Notice that one of them starts with the style, one of them starts with the subject, and one of them starts with the background. Right. And we seed locked it, and we looked to see if it made much of a difference, and it didn't make too much of a difference. A little bit, not nothing. We learn as advanced users that we can move things to the front of the prompt to improve style adherence. Excuse me, to improve prompt adherence. But it's absolutely an advanced tactic, and it doesn't always work. And that's why it's advanced, is because it's loosey goosey. The beginner stuff, we try to say things that work all the time. Which is ironic that I'm using seed everywhere, because seed does not work all the time. I promise. It didn't even work in this class. It failed like halfway through. I'm like, crap. But we try. We try because it's the only way to even have a fighting chance at showing the changes incrementally from one type of prompt to another. My God, we are at the end of the class and we're only 17 minutes over. I'm going to finish it out because I want the recording to have the class wrap up. We will be done in about 7 minutes. We've spent the whole class experimenting on a random little demo logo so that we could push it through every tool sort of safely, right? Now I want to zoom out and talk about what this looks like when you're using Midjourney like for real projects. So the first thing we talked about was prompting basics. Build a clear baseline. When you start any Midjourney project, not just a logo, obviously, but begin with your baseline prompt. You can use the probe prompts that we talked about to map the aesthetic space around your idea if you want. And what we did today with the demo logo is the same process you'd use for characters or environments or props or story beats or product shots, anything, right? And lesson number 2 was style basics. We said that styles aren't filters. They reshape how the model interprets your prompt. We talked about the built-in styles of default and raw and Niji, and the style tools of EXP, weird, and chaos, and the bring your own style BYOS. We used a logo because logos react pretty clearly to the style changes. I thought that would help. But these things apply to every Midjourney workflow. You set your idea, you try different style paths, see what direction makes sense for your project. And today's experiment sort of taught you how to steer. Well, I didn't want to teach you how to make a logo. I wanted to teach you how to play with the toys. So hopefully everything that we did with the demo logo today translates into everyday use for you. Start with a baseline prompt, explore stylistic directions with some intentionality, right? And then build, I'll call them systems, profiles, mood board styles that make your work consistent and repeatable. And that's the real takeaway, right? Not logos, but how to explore and control and repeat a look. So one last bonus thing, which I thought was cool, a quick way to just change the style of something. Just change the changes without changing it. So let's say this is my, well, let me find one that I like. I like this one, has some shape. We explored a bunch of ways to change the style of an image by prompting and adding srefs and so on, and that changed the owl itself every time. But what if I wanted to change this owl? Not make a new one, but this actual guy with this actual composition, these pixels. So maybe you can follow along and do this with me. Some of you more advanced folks, or EBG, or Marv, if you guys are feeling bold, you can pick one version of your logo from today that you like, and then load it up like I have, where you're looking at it by itself, and then click the editor button. Edit button right here. And it'll load it into this new UI, which is called the editor. What I need you to do is open it into the advanced editor, which is set. The button says open and edit tab. That allows you to go to the retexture tab. It's very, very low contrast. You might not be able to tell that these are tabs, but this is a tab called retexture. Well, now, where did my prompt go? I'm going to grab my prompt. Then I'm going to go back. I don't know why it fell off. There. Okay. So now find that style reference that you love or want to test, and you can just add that sref code to the end of the prompt. I'm going to do random because I don't have one handy. And then I submit the retexture. And it's going to apply the new style to the existing image without changing anything. It's like putting a completely new skin on top of exactly the same picture. So I can get exactly the same logo with a new style. I'll do sref random again. Yes, you can. You can do the same with uploaded images. Any image that you get into Midjourney, you can do this. And in that way, you're not getting a new image every time. You're getting the same image in a new style. I'm typing in the steps here. You should keep the same prompt. I would suggest keeping the same prompt. You don't have to. It's possible that you can just use a void prompt. Let's find out. I keep the same prompt because it helps it identify what it's looking at. Without the same prompt, it might decide that this is a building, or it might change the background because there's no prompt anymore saying isolated on a black background. There's nothing saying that anymore. So it'll fill in the background with whatever it wants. There's nothing saying that it's an owl. There's nothing saying that these are books. So I just get insanity, right? I didn't say it was an owl, so it just decided what it was. So should you keep the same prompt? I keep the same prompt. I keep the same prompt. I don't know why my instructions say for the first time. I just kept typing. Make the books turn into a stack of CDs. Well, that's the editor. So hold up. Here, I'm at the editor, not the retexture tab. I'm on the edit tab. I select the books he's on, or I erase them, however you want to think about it. And then I say, an owl standing on a stack of CD-ROMs. I describe the whole picture, not just a stack of CD-ROMs. I describe the whole picture I want to see. That's how you prompt in the editor. You can't specify stuff with I mean, I can try with retexture. Okay. A red owl wearing red glasses stands on top of a stack of CD-ROMs. I don't know, blue and gray CD-ROMs. Isolated on a black background. I'm in retexture now. Yeah. Yeah, it can't, because it can't change. It tried, but it can't change the shape of the books. I don't know, kind of. Sorry, I was clicking the wrong ones. See how it can't change the shape of the book? The books are solid. In this case, it could change the shape of the books, and it did. Sonaida, select what the paint thing is called edit. I was testing retexture, which is the other tab. Edit retexture, edit retexture. In retexture, it is not capable of changing the book's shape. So the only thing it could do was texture the books a little bit more like CD-ROMs, which just looks weird. But in the editor, I did select it, see, with the paint thing. And it did change the shape of the books and try to make it more CD-ROM-like. Pile of apples. We're going to do a pile of apples. For a pile of apples, I'm going to give it a little more space to play here. Because apples have so much shape. Okay, now standing on a pile of apples. Oh, yeah, pile of apples standing on a top of a pile of apples isolated on a black background. Just gonna like shove some apples in. Yeah. Didn't even try with the apples there. Put apples between the books there. It also put apple texture on the owl. The owl now has apple skin. How did it do over here? It didn't do very well over here either. An enormous pile of red round apples. Yeah, there we go. Now it has a bunch of apples. I had to ask for a bunch of apples. Where does it go? Do you see this view all button here, Sonaida? Goes to a special URL/editor. That is the feed for the editor, which is a different feed than your regular editor. Everything will stay. It's in a secret feed. All edits ever. Can you delete these? Whoops. Oh, well. Hold on. I clicked. Let me go back to, can I delete? Nah. No. Yes. Add to. Describe. Trash. Ha. Yes.
So I've got some input on that for you. If what you're needing is whatever is in the trash is automatically deleted, that is something that's been mentioned in office hours, and they're looking at adding a 30-day period for that to happen, but it hasn't been rolled out yet.
Well, I'm gonna wrap up the class then, because look at what we just did together. Oh my God. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
A heroic, borderline ridiculous amount of material. And you guys powered through it like champions.
It's the best thing though, just get in there and have a look. Start playing around with it and all the settings.
Yeah, but my brain is doing the Windows 95 shutdown noise, and you're all still somehow upright.
I think I've had too much coffee today, so I'm still buzzing and coming up with ideas. So
we covered prompting and probes and styles and tools and world building, profiles, mood boards, style creator, retexture. It was like running a marathon while juggling flaming laptops. I don't know. You guys did it. You're over caffeinated nerds. You made it. Over caffeinated nerds. That's the name of our t-shirt. I'm genuinely impressed. Congratulations. You're sharp. You're curious. You ask great questions. You make this so much fun to teach. This room is full of people with big engines under the hood. Big engine. I'm saying y'all are smart. What were you thinking? Anyway, take a breath. High five yourself. Mazel tov. You did something awesome today. Curiosity. Go hydrate or something before your neurons unionized. Don't let your I don't know. Look, I don't want anyone's neurons to unionize. There's what we covered again.
gosh, yeah, that's a lot of info.
That's a lot. We did a lot, you guys.
Oh yeah.
So again, if you want the notes for this, then you want to sign up. Whoops. Here. Notes, request for notes, and requests for the recording. Put your name on this list here. And the recordings are variously found at these URLs. And if you want to support events like these, we need support from viewers like you.
That is true. The feedback forms are really invaluable.
I hope you will take a beat to click that feedback form. Even if you filled it out before in your life here with Midjourney, fill it out again. And register at this URL if you would like the notes sent to you. And how many of you, as a survey, are going to be here on Discord the day before or on Christmas. Like, should Kinky and I do Christmas events, or should we, like, for our Midjourney family, or should we, like, just like, you'll be here on Christmas, like I'll be here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, some of us are not, like, I happen to be a little bit Jewish. I'm Jewish, okay? So I'll be missing some different days and I'll be around. Yeah, look, see, we're all saying we'll be here. So maybe I won't cancel things. Maybe we'll just, I mean, I'm chilling out in my studio with my cows. Walking by, I got to take a picture for Ari. Oh, high five, Mr. Shoney. Really awkward high five though, because Jewish. Okay, you guys. I'm not ashamed. I will not be ashamed. Never again. All right, EBG, you're one of us now, EBG, you realize. Well, Sinaida, the Jewish people have had a difficult time being who we are, as have many people of color. Oh yeah, so you know it. So that there's a little bit of that, and I'm in Texas, man. So we think about that. We think about that. Yeah, exactly, Ari. Some harder than others. Native Americans come to mind right now. I just read, have you guys read The Buffalo Hunter? Oh man, that book will gut you. Makes you think not once, not twice, but hundreds of times about Native Americans. The Buffalo Hunter. It's a page turner. It's got a lot of nonfiction in it. It's got a lot of real information in it. But it is also a page turner. Stephen Graham Jones. Buffalo Hunter. Oh no. I just haven't watched it because I'm busy, not because it's not queued up. You know who's watched it? Ipsaidy has watched it like 3 times. Okay, I'm going to sign off on the stream. Goodbye, stream. I will leave you with a recommendation for the Buffalo Hunter.